Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host and still host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We realize that this is our first show back, coming off hiatus. For those that followed us during the hiatus, we appreciate you. For those that ask questions about the show, we appreciated you. Listen, we have a lot of things that are going on with the show. I'm going to be talking about those as well. For the people that just prayed for us, kept us in dua, make great comments about the show, checked out and made comments during the reruns. We appreciate you as well. Big shout out to the Shout Out Show Nation, Shout Out Show family that stuck with this. You know, like I said, we stopped at 514 consecutive shows. And what we did was we took a hiatus because we are very, very fascinated with the idea of better to good, good to great. So we're trying to get better to good and good to great. We have some technical things that we have updated. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put them together because I got to make sure they work correctly. I don't want to wreck the show, but we have some exciting updates with technology. We have some exciting stuff in terms of programming. We're going to be talking about that, brothers and sisters. So again, welcome you. And big shout out to Sister Tana. I hope you enjoyed your hiatus. I enjoyed mine, but I'm not going to lie to you, brothers and sisters. I miss connecting with you as I had been doing since Ramadan last year. So let me say that you were missed and greatly appreciated. And as we come back to the show, I hope that we're able to come back bigger. Yeah, definitely bigger and better than we were before. And we're going to have some different things. So let me get into the topic here a little bit today. Our first topic for Mo Better Mondays, that's right, it is Mo Better Mondays, is again re-examining the concept of effort. Now, brothers and sisters, I have been in this mode, maybe you have. Well, I feel like the people who's supposed to be representing us, the politicians, the presidents, the vice president, all of these people are supposed to be representing us, they're just not doing a great job. Not because they're not doing a great job, but more so, I don't see the effort. I don't see the clarity that they have campaigned upon. I don't see the promises that they've made. I want to say that some of our leaders, throw it out there, brothers and sisters, they're lazy. They are lazy. And when I say lazy, I mean a pattern of inertia that allows them not to do anything. You've been doing it the same way badly for a number of years. And I think, frankly, I've had enough of it. You know why? Because the people who work the hardest and die the youngest are the people who don't have power, who don't have money. They have to work. You know, this whole anomaly of poor people, when I was growing up, poor people how somehow were lazy. It was embedded into us as fact in a lot of regards, because people were saying things not knowing what those struggles were of the people, not knowing that the people that have the less are the ones that work the most. I quoted during a Talim yesterday that Kanye West has a song called All Falls Down. He said the people highest up have the lowest self-esteem. And the people who are highest up that have the lowest self-esteem also have what has to be a disillusioned understanding of what working and what hard work is. See, hard work when you're selfish is just your work. Real work is when the rest of the community benefits in some regards, and there's parity. There's parity to the effort you get back, but there's parity to the contribution that you give. So I'm saying this in the midst of we just got the debt ceiling raised. I think we're trying to keep the government open. Why are we going through these things? You know, we talked about this during the Trump years, during the Obama years. It's like it means a little bit to me, or it means something to me when I see people who work hard not allowed to work hard. Yeah, I'm not saying that the country is in disrepair or disrepute. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have to re-examine what people are doing with their effort. Now, when I say effort, the question is, brothers and sisters, have we as a country become a lot lazier? We've had shows on like, does my smartphone make me smarter? I'll be honest. Sometimes when I'm typing on my phone here, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to lie. I'm typing on my phone, I'm sending a text, and they have something that's called predictive texting. It's like it predicts what you're going to say in a message. And it has autocorrect when you're typing, you make a mistake. And it's so funny because I'm so used to correcting my own mistakes. I wind up correcting or overcorrecting something. I got to type the whole thing over again. Have we become a situation or scenario, brothers and sisters, where the world, through technology, has become infinitely lazy? And the understanding that technology was supposed to make us Better, in fact, has made us busier because we're having to correct a whole lot of things. Now, listen, we're going to get this thing rolling, brothers and sisters. Again, glad to have you back. I'm Preacher Moss. This is a shout out show. We are back off a hiatus. That's all I got to say. Satana, kick it. All right, so we're back. Before we get into our subject matter of re-examining the concept of effort, brothers and sisters, I want to make sure that I shout this out very clearly. We're having some format changes. We think they're for the better. We have been a show for however many episodes, 500 plus episodes, where we were on every day. And we enjoyed that, and it served its purpose. It made us a much better program, a much tighter program. It made us disciplined in the way that we put the program together and we delivered it. However, normally it doesn't work that way. I am a self-professed, in many regards, alcoholic. I believe in deliberate practice. So the amount of shows we did reflected that I believe in deliberate practice. I wanted to get better quickly. And as a show and as a fan base, we got better a lot quicker than we should have. Think about if we just did one show a week. It would be a one show a week type of deal for a month, blah, 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 blah. But we were blessed. And let me even throw this out. We were blessed that we had an audience that stuck with us that long, that we have regulars. And when I say regulars, I'm talking about Sister Ree. I'm talking about my main man. Wow, we got everybody on. I'm sorry, but we got everybody on. I mean, we're talking about everybody that was coming on the show, supporting the show from Canada, from the United States, from the UK. We had all of these things going on, brothers and sisters, and it was a blessing. However, we realized that formats exist for a reason. So what we've decided to do was condense the format a little bit more to fit the lifestyle of people. When I say fits the lifestyle of people, I mean that we want to make sure that we don't tire you out as an audience. We appreciate you coming and supporting us. However, it's important that we give you the proper rest. As we had to take a hiatus, you had to take a hiatus too. So for formal understanding of what the shout out show is going to be, we are going to be on during the week. Absolutely. But instead of being on 7 days a week, we're going to be on 4 days a week. The 4 days will consist of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on the weekends, we're going to give you a break and we're going to come back strong and better during the week. However, we will maintain our Saturday spotlight, but we'll be doing it once a month. It will be the first Saturday of each month. That way it gives us an opportunity, brothers and sisters, to build the show, but also bring in critique, research, and bring on solid guests. And we can be a lot more regular than we were before with the show because we just had X amount of shows. We were up there with Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox News for 514 episodes. So, we were putting in that work. So listen, aside from that, I want to make sure that everyone knows that the technology will change a little bit. We hope that the cameras that you see will be a little bit better. But light, we have the sound working, all those type of things in an effort to bring you a better quality show. So what I would like, if you guys don't mind, is give us some feedback. You know where to go. permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Again, that's permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Check that out. Like I said, we are family. So the best thing about this show is this is a community show. And I wanted to make sure that we're getting up, and I'm standing up here. I'm blessed, alhamdulillah, because, this feels like more TV as opposed to me just looking in your screen. So I'm going to bring on my partner in crime, the consultant producer, without which this thing does not happen. Sister Tatana, would you mind popping into there we go.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Why don't you talk to them, Sister
Hey,
Zatanna?
everyone.
I'm gonna fix my camera. Go ahead and take the screen over.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pop you out for a second or pop me up. But no, that's not it.
See, Sister Zatanna been off too long, everybody.
I really have. Look, here's the thing. Okay, y'all. There
okay,
we go.
she don't want to be on. There you go.
I took a real hiatus, but welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking with us during hiatus. As Preach said, it's much needed. We did 514 shows, and you stuck with us, the entire time. So thank you so much. We're looking to, come back stronger than ever, looking at different formats. But in order to do that, we are going to, reduce the number of shows per week. And as Preacher said, we're going to go from Monday through Thursday, and every first Saturday, we'll have our Saturday Spotlight. So we're super excited about that. And so, drop us a line in the comments. How have you been doing? I already see that we have some of our regulars, and I can't wait to shout you out and hear back from you. And so as soon as Preacher's back on, we're going to do the shout outs because
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
you're
ready.
ready. You ready to do that? Let's see if I can.
Let's
see if I can execute this.
Okay. Okay. First off, I want to give a shout out to my little brother, Johnny L. Thomas, who I had the pleasure of hanging out with in Milwaukee while I was doing some tour work with Hassan Minhaj. I want to give a shout out to Hassan Minhaj, who's touring the King's Gesture. If you get a chance to check it out, it's going on all over the country. I had a chance to sit in with them in Milwaukee. Big shout out to Milwaukee. A lot of love there. I spent a lot of time in Milwaukee. A lot of love. Had a great show. My nephew came out. Friends, family came out, and it was just wonderful to walk out in the audience at the Riverside Theater and see people, man, that I came up with in the game in terms of comedy. Big shout out to Marlon Hill, little brother. I mean, it was a wonderful weekend, and I just want to throw that out. We got some other folks in here. I shouted out Sister Ree. Sister Ree, keep Sister Ree in prayer. She had a loss in her family, brothers and sisters, and we're making sure that Sister Ree stays on top of her health. We hope that you're doing well. Peace and blessings to you, Sister Ree, and Brother Derek. As well, we got my main man Altaf Rashid holding it down all the way from our Canadian ambassador. Knew what time it was to come back on the show, brothers and sisters. That's all you can ask for. We got Sister Ika coming all the way from Indonesia. How you doing, Sister Ika? She's doing her thing. Again, brothers and sisters, like I said, this is the show. Is a welcome back show. We could have just sat here and talked about coming back, Sister Satana. We could have just done that. And just make that the case.
And what's been happening in the news.
So much but you know what? This is a funny thing. So much was happening during the hiatus. I was almost like a superhero. Like I was going to have to jump into a phone booth, put on my cape, and bring out the shout out show. Like, we're back.
I remember you were like, should I go? You were like, what's going on? So we go back on. I'm like, let's take the hiatus.
I mean, that was the funny part. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Should we bring it back live? Like, no.
It's like Al Pacino. Just when I get out, they pull me back in. That's what it felt like. So, I mean, the world hasn't changed much. Our politics is pretty still much ineffective. People still getting COVID. People don't want to get the vaccine. They're getting COVID.
Don't wear the
mask. Economy is weird. I feel like the temptation, ball of confusion. That's what it feels like. Ball of confusion. So, and I got to shout out the Golden Girls. I got to shout out, of course, Mama Son. I got to shout out, of course, Miss Maxine B. Cade, our sponsor from, oh man, I forget the sponsor name.
From
Be Financially Independent. Just how long we've been off. From Be Financially Independent. I want to give a big shout out to Kendrick Samuel. Hope you're feeling better, brother. And I mean, that's it. We've been off, but I have to say I was really like aching to get on, and I had this whole idea about the camera and all of that. And I'm like, wait a minute, the camera doesn't make the show, the people make the show. So
absolutely.
As we do the technological changes, and this is nice. This is nice. We can actually make it feel like it is. Like I feel like I'm almost doing stand-up. Like I'm that close. If this was Zoom, I'd be doing stand up. I'm telling you. I
Oh
just keep it.
wow! All right, you need to get the a stand up mic
Yeah, if I
for
put it
Tom Mike.
right here, that's it.
Yeah,
That's a wrap. I mean, I could run that the mag we have and put it in the stand. That's how crazy it is.
there you
So,
go. There you go.
I want to say to everybody, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Ataf, our Canadian ambassador. I mean, just to come back on is a blessing. But enough of that. We need to start talking briefly, if not in depth, about this whole idea concept of re-examining effort.
Yeah. So I just
So let me
wanted to,
jump on that.
before you jump out, I just wanted to Ree said that she loves the changes, and so Ree,
Yes,
thank you.
appreciate you, Ree. It's gonna get
Um,
better.
appreciate yeah, and to the new people too. There's some, we have new people, and as preacher said,
Oh,
he's been out and about. He's been, so I know we picked up new new viewership. So welcome to everyone. You're
absolutely.
privy to the new format that we're
I'm
happening, and
the
also talk
whole
about the
we're the host for
re-airing.
the re-airings were crazy. Like
Yeah,
the
but
re-airings were crazy because it felt like, in some regards, it kind of felt like we were still on time.
yeah. So
There was
the show itself never lost its pace as far as the timing. So that was great. But another feature that we're going to have is that we're going to re-air
okay. We
in the evening.
lost
I'm going to talk about
we
that.
lost this kind of sound a little bit. What she's saying is we are going to have a live broadcast, and at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to rebroadcast the show that you're seeing right now.
Yeah,
That's what we're going to do.
for sure.
We feel like it's important because people get off work and things like that. So we will rebroadcast this show. And in case you have any friends or family and miss it, or in case you miss it, uh, again, that would be so we're gonna say 8 o'clock Central, which would be 6 o'clock Pacific, which would be 9 o'clock
9 o'clock
Eastern.
Eastern.
So
Yes.
we have figured out a lot of things during this hiatus, brothers and sisters, in terms of presenting the show. And one thing I do want to take time to say, Sister Tana, I want to give a shout out to my mentor. May Allah be pleased with him, one of my mentors. Of course, his big brother Reggie. But I want to give a shout out to a brother named Harry Weber. And Harry Weber he was the first artistic director for Motown. And Harry Weber really, really helped me in some regards to this point of being able to even take a hiatus and frame what the show could be, should be. Because now, brothers and sisters, when you come on the show, you're looking at something that's actually fairly established because we've been out in the domain and we hope to build. And when I say hope to build, what I'm hoping is as we grow audience, that our core audience that was with us from the beginning, that you stay with us because we can't do it without you. Okay, so let me roll on here. I want to talk about this idea of, again, we're going to re-examining the concept of effort. It seems to me, and I could be totally wrong, but it seems to me that the idea of effort has been compromised because effort has to be directed towards people's purposes and agendas. Like education. Instead of children learning general education, it's almost like sports. When kids used to play sports when I was young, long, long time ago, we had a seasonal understanding of sports. Let me explain. We would play football and baseball and basketball as long as the weather permitted. What I'm saying is there wasn't a specialization. And even during the winter times, you played basketball. If it was organized, you played indoors. I'm putting that out there because it seems to me these days, brothers and sisters, that effort has been a point of contention because people delineate what the effort is going to be. Here in America, we have two political parties. None of them work to the benefit of the people. For one to work, it means that the other one has to be in total contrast and vice versa. And I'm saying because it is a waste of energy and a waste of manpower and creativity if we're always going to be to the point when we get here and people block execution. Me saying people block execution means that things don't get done. That's a really nice way of saying things don't get done. Schools don't get funded. Projects don't get funded. The elderly aren't taken care of. Things like this, brothers and sisters, food is not distributed to the people who need it, to the point that people will have to create a situation scenario to feed the needy. If anyone else wants to understand the core of nonprofit work, charity work, it basically fills in the void where the government is not able or not willing to serve the people. What am I talking about? Effort. So, to me, and like I always say, this is my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. To me, I look at the elders and what they did with effort, because the effort was amazing, because the effort was tempered by, you know what I'm about to say, expectation. It was a rare expectation that our elders had, because they understood that the effort was always going to be evaluated, particularly with African Americans. It was always going to be evaluated a different type of way. There was always going to be a different valuation for how they work. People of color, things like that. It's always going to be that there's another scale that you have to deal with. We, as children of slaves, children of and captured people from Africa, have always dealt with the fact that there's a narrative somehow that leaves out the fact that the effort is always going to be compromised, because in the heart of hearts of people who oppress, or in the heart of hearts of people who block progress, that's probably a better way to say it, they can never have a full understanding and value of themselves. Case in point, it's always crazy to listen to people tell you something about something, knowing that that person can't do what they're talking about. Malcolm X had a great quote back in the day. And he talked about what it is for African American businessmen. That's the way I looked at it. He said that the black man can have ice and the white man can have ice, but somehow the white man's ice is always cooler. I love this, okay? Because it establishes that people have levels in terms of expectation. So if you work 40 hours a week, people will put that in terms of how much of the 40 hours work for me, not how much of the 40 hours work for you. That's why I've always, been kind of hard on the idea that I wanted to be self-employed, because I can always look at my effort. I'm not going to be, disingenuous with myself, but I know when my effort wasn't there. Point blank, I didn't have to worry about somebody trying to tell me what my effort is. And that's the thing that remains to be inspiring. We're able to inspire, correct ourselves. In a situation now, I say re-examining the concept of effort, because people, brothers and sisters, put false norms on this. Being a comedian these days, it used to be how many people can you make laugh, put butts in the seats. We're in a social media age now. I don't begrudge it, because now it is how many butts can you put in the seat, but how many likes do you have? How many followers do you have? How many tweets do you have? I was with a gentleman this weekend who doesn't have social media, but he's the best comedian in the world. Why? It is the effort. It is the idea that people don't understand. There's two types of efforts. It's the one that people see you doing, and it's the one that only you see you doing. And we've moved away from that. Everything is so visual. It has to be visceral and accounted for, just so that people can say, oh, I saw you do it. It gets away from that. You think about things like lifting weights, and the person that lifts weights. Now that person one day can lift weights, nothing happens. Lift weights, but then you don't see that person for 3 months, and they come back and they're buff. I'm advocating, brothers and sisters, that we need to be able to talk about this to our community, family, friends, children, etc. We have to change the modality in terms of what effort is, because the effort that's out there, brothers and sisters, is not working. And in the best case, in many cases, it's just self-serving. So I won't be on my soapbox or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, we need to be the difference. I am not going to wait for people. I always say, you've heard me say this quote about talent. Everybody has a talent, but it takes skill to get paid for the talent, and it takes discipline to maintain the skill. That is a comprehensive understanding about effort. That is circular. It's not straight. It's circular. You will return and look at where you were at a particular point in time, judge, and figure out how you can get further away from that point. So I'm going to leave it right there. I know we are a little bit over. No, actually, we're okay. I'm okay. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I thought I was over, so I appreciate you. But let me throw these couple things out about effort. The Shout Out Show is going to pledge to give you guys a lot more effort. And when I say a lot more effort, what I mean is we're going to come in with better programming. Our format is going to be a lot more tighter. We're going to, inshallah, make this thing a lot more interactive for our people. Meaning that, like we had a show before, we invited people on. We want to know what you're doing in the community. I want to know what your efforts are. Not just know what your efforts are, but we want to celebrate your efforts. And if you have people that you want to celebrate, then you need to get to permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. And let's talk about putting shows out there about people who are putting out the effort, people who are making the changes, people making the sacrifices that they normally won't get on TV. They won't get likes and they won't get tweets, but we want to give them love here on the Shout Out Show. Like I said, the Shout Out Show, of course, I'm the host, but I'm not the owner. We're looking at a space and time, brothers and sisters, and the show will get better. But we're looking at a space and time where we need to reinvest our energy, our love, our compassion, our blessings in people who actually give us the effort. And when I say give us the effort, these are people who earn our attention. They earn our respect. They earn our investment. So that's what we want to do here on the Shout Out Show. All right. So do a couple wrap ups before we get going. Just to review, brothers and sisters, the Shout Out Show format has changed. We're going to be doing 4 shows, Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. We will be doing the Saturday Spotlight, but it will be once a month on the first Saturday. If you have, per chance, some suggestions for people who you might want to be, because I don't know everybody, some people who you might feel are interesting enough to be on the Shout Out Show, let us know. You got to go to permissiblelaughter@gmail.com to put it in there. Okay? So, again, let me shout out all the Shout Out Show family. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We appreciate you. We will be back tomorrow, inshallah. You already have the format. We'll be ready to go, rocking, ready to go. So I think that's it for right now. We're going to kick up a commercial, and then we're going to get out of here. So, Tana, did I miss anything? I know what I missed. We got to give a shout out to our sponsor, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Go to www.BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. I cannot remember the phone numbers, Tana, so put that ticker up. 1-888. See, it's TV. So, Tana, can you put the ticker up? She can't find the ticker. Okay. Go to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. The proprietor is Maxine B. Cade, Esquire. Go check it out. We'll have the numbers for you guys tomorrow. And also, we're going to give a shout out to Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Bayan Islamic Graduate School, you can go to bayanonline.org and find out more about it. They are, I think it's still open for registration for the spring. So, brothers and sisters, that's our show. We will see you, inshallah, tomorrow. Welcome back to the Shout Out Show. I'm Preacher Moss on behalf of Satana Whitfield. See you tomorrow. Why would I do a CD called Confessions of a Muslim Comedian? And that was the idea of bringing entertainment to Muslims, for Muslims, about Muslims, but for everybody. I got Dean in my life. Who is Dean? Don't you bring Dean around here. You know how Muslims get you all hyped up? And he said, brother, you ready to be Muslim? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that means? I said, tell me, brother. He said, you ready to give up the swine? I said, yes, sir. I'm giving up the swine. He said, are you ready to give up the alcohol? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. He said, you ready to give up the women? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol.